Can we stop relying on the float test to determine if our starter's ready to bake with? Hi, I'm Annette, micro baker in Chicago and owner of Dough My Goodness Bakery, and I'm here to help you simplify sourdough. Welcome to episode 7 in a series that I'm calling Understanding Your Sourdough Starter. Here's the problem with the float test. A starter will float when it has enough gas bubbles inside trapped to make it buoyant. That's it. That's the whole test. It does not tell you whether your culture is balanced. It does not tell you whether your leavening power is there. An over-fermented, acid-heavy, yeast-depleted starter that has gone well past its peak can still have enough residual gas in it to float. And a stiff starter at perfect peak will almost always sink because that denser hydration doesn't trap air the same way. The float test was designed around high hydration liquid starters, and it is still perpetuated even though it's not reliable. Reading your starter is a skill, and like any skill, it gets better the more that you practice. Here are some indicators to look for. Volume is the first indicator. Your starter should have visibly risen, ideally doubled or more. That domed top means that it's still on the rise. Once it hits peak, that dome will flatten out a little bit. You can usually tell that a starter is past peak because it has started to collapse. You can even see sometimes the streaks on the side of the jar. Texture is the second indicator. At peak, your starter should be airy and webby and full of bubbles throughout. When you put a spoon or a magic wand through it, you should be able to open it up and see that network of airy bubbles inside. This is an active, healthy culture at maximum leavening power. Smell is the third indicator. A starter at peak should smell yeasty and tangy, like fresh bread or mild yogurt, pleasant, inviting. A starter past peak starts to smell sharper, more like vinegar or nail polish remover. That shift in smell should be an indicator to you that your starter is stressed and that the bacteria are starting to outpace the yeast. And then behavior over time is the last indicator. Once your starter is mature and you feed it on a predictable schedule, its behavior will become consistent and predictable. And then you'll start to recognize its rhythm. And monitoring it this way so that it becomes predictable is what it means to truly know how to read your starter. Your starter's been communicating with you this whole time. Just learn to listen to her. Happy baking.